since I find out that I was very much Jewish in me. Not everything is Jewish, but very much is it. And I didn't know that when I come to Israel the first time, 2011. And God told me that I had to go to Israel, and I knew in that time, 2011, that I needed to do it very quick. It's not nothing to. It's not to wait for when God call us to do something. We can't wait and deal with the world about it, that we are going to do something. We have to be one with God and do it in faith. Even if we, like I had very much against me to 2011 because I was very sick. It was the peak of my illness. I got medicine 2014, so this was before I have got my medicine, and I had psoriasis all over my body, and but I had to go as God told me to go, and I was thinking, how can I do it? I am very sick in my body, and I wake up in the morning and it was blood all over my sheet because I was bleeding all over my body of the psoriasis, and I was weak, and then I should go to Israel, so I find a group of people, Swedish people, that should fly to Israel. So I joined them, but it was very much money because this group, they had those fancy hotels. They have rent buses and those things. We were going around in Israel from Jerusalem up to the north. So it was very much money, and I was thinking, how can I make it there? Because I have no money. And but I signed up for that flight to go with them without knowing how I should pay for it. But I signed up, and they asked me, do you really have this kind of money to be with us in Israel? And I say, yes, I have, but without knowing how. But I have my cats, and my cat gave birth to 6 kittens, more than normal, and it was very much money to sell them. And when God told me to fly to Israel, that was so much time before we should leave Sweden to Israel, so that I could sell the kittens. And then one day I got an envelope, and there was money from the tax office. They say that I had paid too much tax for, I think it was 7 years before, so it was before I left left Sweden to be homeless in United States. So it should have been. And so I got money. I got more money than I spent in Israel. But then I was thinking why God want me to be in Israel in that time. And the first thing I saw, it was that the pastor that he had lived in Israel, and he was the one that go with us in Israel, and it find out 1 year later, after in 2012, that he converted to be Catholic. Before that he was Pentecostal pastor, and he changed it. So that was one thing, that I should test this pastor, what he did to me, because I told him about that God come and talk to me, and he only laughed at me and thought it was nonsense. And then it was this time in Palestine where we were to a shop, a souvenir shop, and I didn't know that we should take a bath in the Dead Sea, so I didn't have a blanket with me. So I say to this pastor that I'm going to ask for if they have a blanket for me, and he laughed and said, "You can ask your God about it. He will surely give you that," he said, and laughed at me. Not that he believed in me, that I was a crazy person like that. He said, so I go to the cashier and I ask the cashier, "Do you have a blanket that I can buy?" And under the cashier machine, he had blankets that it was not to be seen for us that was in the shop, but there was blankets to buy. So and I go back to the pastor and say, "Yeah, God helped me. I got the blanket," and show him the blanket. So then he be quiet. And this was the test. But now I can see something else. Well, by the time, you know, that time will tell. Very many times the time will tell. And the time will tell was that in 2011, it was when I was standing at that street where Jesus was carrying his cross, De La Rosa, a street, and we had a guide with us, and we asked the guide where, because this De La Rosa street is very long, and we understood that Jesus could have not carried the cross the whole way from the start to the end of the street. So it was someone that asked where exactly did Jesus walk with the cross. And the guides say they don't know where it was. They only know that it was on this street. And when she say that, I come to know like heaven told me that this is they don't know so much where things are that was told in the Bible, and they assume many places, and they build up the site like it is for real, that is the truth. And you know that in the end of times it will be this, that the good be like evil and the evil be like good, and this about to fake and hide, that is also in this end of times. And I saw that, and that make me not be so very much interested of those things we were at when it was this is the place where it was. And I was thinking they lie only to make tourists coming to those sites to pay money for to go and see. So it's like they built up an amusement park like that, because the tourists that come to Israel, they want to see those places in the Bible, what the Bible is talking about. So Israel have to build up those places. If they don't know where it is, they build it up and say that it's the story is about that it's this place it could have happened. They say that and point it out, and those most people buy it. I think, I'm standing on a holy place, and then is it only a normal soil ground that is faked, that is a lie that this is the place where it did happen. And it was a reason why I should come to Israel 2011, because now when I'm on my way to Israel and have this DNA done twice, and I see that I am Jewish. In the basic of me is Jewish, and then I had friends on Facebook. I started to add Jewish people into Facebook to come to know more about the Jewish society and Israel, but many lives in United States of this Jewish. I thought I only go by their names, and when they have the sure name, the last name, the same as I have in my family tree, I added them to be my Facebook friends. And so I did, and maybe I have about 300 use, and those who live in Israel, I have found out now that they have accepted me as friend because they see money in me. They don't see me as a person, they see the money in me, because they have not looked at my profile and knew that, have come to know that I have been to Israel already 3 times, and but they see me as the first time traveling to Israel, and in that way they can sell me those fake tours to show me, because they assume me to be Christian, and they want to sell those expensive tours in Israel. And yesterday I saw something else that have taken place. I didn't know that one of my so-called friends that doesn't talk to me, he is only in my friend list, and I asked him once if he knew a cheap place to stay in Israel, because he is in a site about Jerusalem, the secrets Jerusalem, and so I was thinking that maybe he know some cheap places to stay at when I am in Israel, because I never have really much money, so I don't have the money to stay in Israel 2 months, but the heaven have told me to stay in Israel 2 months, to pay my flight ticket, for it's 2 month gap between my flights, and they have not told me what will happen, but in that way they say that I know that I should have the flight to Israel and then back after 2 months. But what's in this time I don't know. So maybe I am in a hospital for some weeks like that, and I don't know. I only know I should go to Israel, but this man that I asked, and he didn't know anything, and he's Russian, but he live in Jerusalem, and he travel around in many other countries, so he have lots of money, but the money that he creating is to have guiding people, guide people in food and the market, food market only. He not showing people around in those sites. He make the money to showing people restaurants to eat at, and in that way he get free food to eat, plus the money from those groups of people that he guides. And what more can they do in Israel to make money of tourists? That's the first thing is that it's so expensive to be in a hotel. They it's hard to find a cheap hotel. So just now am I going to stay in expensive hotel, and I can't find those cheap hotels, so I can stay 2 months. I can stay 1 month in those expensive hotels because it's harder for me now. Before, when I was to Israel, I could be in cheap hotel, very cheap hotels, because I could walk. I can walk today, but I can only walk in controlled environment. I can't go walk out in a space, in an open space where I don't have anything to hold in. If I start to feel the brain start to be confused and want to close up on me, then I need to grab something so I don't fall, and maybe sit down and wait till the brain um, sitting and close my eyes and let the brain rest a little, and then I can walk again. So I must have a control space. So I can't be in those hotels that have stairs and nothing, and some have one. It's only one stair, but it's nothing to hold me in, so I can't walk up there. And then I can't be with many people in the same room like I have done before, because of that I am very fragile, sensitive. My body is not going weak. The more stronger I am in the spirit, the weaker is my body, and that belong to each other. And so you know that, you that have hard with your body, that you when you have a weak body, you can grow your spirit instead to be strong, to feed your spirit. I say it once again. I often say twice on things that is important that you hear. That if your body is weak and you maybe can't walk or something like that, or you have some diseases and like cancer or something bad going on in your body, when your body is weak, that's when you should focus on to build a strong spirit. I don't say that you maybe pass away from your illness or what you have, but if it should be like that, that make you get a better ticket to heaven, a better way that you don't need to be scared of death, because you are okay when you have grow your spirit to be strong. And that's a way also make you stronger in, if you know that it will be an end of your life, that you have faith that God will help you so you don't have any suffering in the end of before you going over to the other side. And that's very important to build the spirit. It's for everyone. That you don't know when God call you home. You don't know. So it's time today to build your spirit strong. And that it's very sad, and I go angry at those people in Israel. They selling out their country, but that when we know that, you maybe not know it, but I tell you now that it's Israel. That was Jacob. God changed his name to be Israel, and that is, you maybe have not done your DNA like that, but those people that are in Jacob's lineage, that belong to Jacob, that is Israel. It's not a country, it's not limit of any board that this is Israel and that is Palestine, that is Jordania. It's not like that. This is Sweden, this over the lake is Denmark, like that. It's, God have not that kind of limit. God have no special country that he loves, that is his country. It's not Jacob. That's a human. That was a person. That was Israel. So he was. Jacob was not a country. Jacob was a person, and that's what God loves. Those that strong, powerful, like Jacob was, and God have told me from many years ago. God have talked to me many times through the years, but he told me that Jacob is God's army. He is the leader for God's army. So it's not about a country at all. So what they are doing in Israel, not everyone, but many, is to sell out Israel. Sell out and lie and hide for people. And God hates liars. God hates fake things. God loves truth. God loves honest people. Not cruel people, evil people, but honest, that you not lie for people and you give information when people need to get the information. And those things. And God is love, but we have hard to understand. I understand, but other people, that it's hard for you to understand God's love, because it seems evil people always pointed out where God crush things. When the flood come and kill all the people all over the world, and only Noah and his family was saved, and God regret that he he did it. He think it was wrong to do it. So in that way, it's like God correct himself, and it's okay to do it. You should not be proud. God doesn't like proud people, and he don't like stubborn people, and you should admit that you have wrong. I have done that. I have correct myself sometimes, and that's to be humble, to be meek. And so I did a video. I have it on YouTube, but I don't know where it was. I maybe can find it if I look at my video list on YouTube, my YouTube channel. That I was talking. I didn't talk on my own. I got received from heaven, and where they were very upset and angry at Israel as a country, not Jacob, but a country, Israel, that they did many wrong things, and they should not be so proud, because Israel is not a country. And when God is saying that He will in the end time, He will gathering Israel's people together, that it doesn't have with a country to do. God will pull His people, Jacob's people, you that is in Jacob. You don't need to be in lineage of Jacob. It's a spirit here that confirm here. It's very strong spirit here now. Because I am going to say that if you are like Jacob, you have to study Jacob, what was special, and maybe I will do an episode about Jacob. But you don't need to be, Jacob doesn't need to be ancestor to you, literally. But if you are like Jacob, then you are Israel's people. Jacob is the same as Israel. Then you are Jacob's people, Israel's people. If you are like him, because he was standing up. He was standing up for the force that broke his hip, and he was strong, and that's why he is now the leader of God's army that will come down here on earth in those in the last days, or in the last day. A time will tell always. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.